Hello everyone and welcome to another in and out video. It is the end of July and to be really honest, it's not completely over like the month, but I'll be traveling from the end of the month and so I'm recording this video a bit earlier. I'm pretty sure nothing more will go out, come in. If it will be in next month's in and out video. So let's get started with the in and out video where I show you everything that has come into my life and also everything that I decluttered this past month. So actually this month there's quite a lot of stuff. And we're gonna start with the things that will go out of my life. And number one is, it's a few things that I already showed you in a video that I made a few weeks ago about kind of my long-term goal with minimalism being to stop decluttering. I'm gonna link it up here for you if you're interested in that and haven't seen it yet. But I did declutter a few things, kind of went through all of my belongings and there were just a few things I want to declutter. So this is one. This is a t-shirt that I knit a bit over a year ago and I just realized I wasn't wearing it and then I tried wearing it again and I did not like the feeling of like this cropped shirt and too much air and cold around kind of my tummy and lower back area. So I'm decluttering it. Then I also got a lot of interesting comments about that stick that I'm decluttering. I get it. Decluttering a stick is a bit ridiculous, but still I kind of brought it back from Norway. It has been with me in my belongings here for a year and there was just nothing I wanted to do with it. And so I realized that it's time for it to go again, just into nature. And I'm decluttering a stick, really. I'm also decluttering part of my beloved Wakes system, like the backpack system that I use. Just because I realized that when I bought it back in 2020, I still had a different kind of camera setup. And so I bought this camera cube extension for the backpack. And I think, by the way, it's brilliant how you can customize your backpack and make it bigger and smaller. But I just realized that I don't need it. I don't need that space and therefore I'm gonna sell it or give it away to someone with this Wake system that hasn't bought this or kind of is buying their things and, you know, then needs to buy less. In here we have the strap to attach stuff to the backpack that I just don't use. We have like the camera inlet and the dividers. We also have the padding for the hip strap. Yeah, and like the cube itself with the camera cooling inlet thing strap. So if you're interested in buying the Wakes backpack and that's maybe something, you know, you're interested in. I'm already writing with some people, but nothing's decided yet. So you can send me a DM if that is something you want to buy from me. And then I also said I'm decluttering my small Wakes bag and that I'm gonna do a giveaway with it. But during the past few days, we've been thinking about how it will work on our trip that's like coming up in a few days. And I realized that this would be great for my son. He needs this on this trip for something. And so I decided to not declutter it. But because a lot of you have said that you would love to have a giveaway and it's something you wanted to buy, you were thinking about buying, and because I just think it's a great brand and they have made my travel life so much better and also my everyday life because I use their stuff every time I leave the house. I decided to do a giveaway with just a new item and it will be hosted on Instagram. So I'm very, very sorry for all of you who do not have Instagram, but here on YouTube, I have no way on like contacting you without making it public, which I don't think goes like with the European laws to protect like personal data. So I will do the giveaway on Instagram during the next few days, or I hope I will have it up when you're seeing this. So go check it out and enter and, you know, maybe you can win this bag. But I'm like withdrawing it from the stack of things I'm decluttering. I'm still keeping it, but less so as a personal item and more so as a family thing because now my son is going to use it. Maybe if I already like have it, I might use it in the future as well, but I've not used it that much in the past few years that I had it just because I mostly take the big backpack no matter where I'm going. So that was kind of the reason. It's still a wonderful, such a stylish, beautiful bag. Like, I love it. And then there's something else. I'm so happy I can declutter, and it's this big thing of X-rays. If you have watched many of my YouTube videos, you might know that I had cancer as a kid, and involved with this whole cancer treatment and detection and like checkups during the 10-15 years after I had cancer. There were a lot of X-rays, and you know, these are medical records, and sometimes you're even supposed to keep them, but these were the ones that were kept by the hospital, and they got sent to my mom and she gave them to me. And up until now I was just not sure if I should keep them for, like, if anything comes up in the future, if they would be like helpful. But I asked my doctor that I have now, and she said I absolutely don't need to keep them, and they usually are not helpful if there's any health concerning things coming up. Yeah, so finally they are pretty heavy. I can declutter all of them, and it's really, this is not a piece of belonging that I was like happy to have, because it's tied to something that wasn't nice in the past, and also just because it's taking up a lot of space and does not have a purpose in my life anymore. So away it goes. I'm happy it is going out. Ooh. Just kind of need to maybe cut it up before I throw them away, because there's still some sensitive data on it. I don't know, we'll see. But this leaves me with the things that came into my life, and now I think it's too bright. So there's one thing. I actually thought there will be nothing, but then there was one thing. So as you might know, I have a podcast, and on this podcast we started like having some brand partners as well, and one of them is Colorful Standard, which is a brand I've been working on this channel with as well. I actually wear their sweatpants right now, and they gifted our podcast team some summer items, and because I don't need much, I just asked for this cap. It's like organic cotton and comes in many colors. It's just very simple, and yeah, one color, no logo or things like that. And I have it in coffee brown. It's a color I already have a pair of shorts in. I'm gonna wear it. And I have to say, when it comes to like caps, I caved in. So I wore caps as a child, and then I thought they were very unstylish, and now they're kind of back in trend. And last year I still thought like, I don't really like how they look, and this year I started really liking it. So I have a cap now. I think they're just super versatile and practical, and kind of give a lot of shape to the face, which is great. I do really hope that I will like the style for the next years, so that I can wear it a lot. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not just gonna give up if they're like out again. Yeah, I'm gonna leave you the link to Colorful Standard down below, as well as a 10% discount code. They make wonderful, sustainable and ethical items in so many different beautiful colors and neutrals, so I highly recommend you check them out. And this is not sponsored, because it's like a different project of mine and I didn't receive any money, but I can genuinely recommend you check them out if maybe there's something you need. Okay, yeah. When we're already talking about the hair, now in the part of like not talking about the things, but kind of more so what I've done, how this month was for me, I want to mention my hair. So I got this haircut, right? And it's kind of like a boring haircut in a sense that it's just straight and it just grows out. Which I also like, because it doesn't look bad soon again. But during the past few years, I've always kind of, not all the time, but again and again stumbled upon this whole curly girl method, and I bet you know it if you've like watched videos about hair maybe online. I'm not saying that is what I'm trying, but I want to see like kind of how much wavy texture my hair naturally has, because I know for sure it's not completely straight, while it's still a lot of hair and pretty heavy, so it can appear straight, or it can like straighten itself out just because of its weight, I think. Right now it absolutely doesn't look like wavy, maybe a little bit back here, but I'm gonna show you some pictures here of when it looked more wavy. And the curly girl method usually requires a lot of like products and product changes, and most of them could just come in plastic. So I'm not gonna buy them right now. I'm just gonna try with no products at all right now, all the other tricks that you can do, and we'll see where that gets me, and maybe at some point I'm going to buy a product. But that's something I've been doing this month, kind of trying out different techniques, basically of drying my hair after washing it. And I don't have an like blow dry it, I never do that. So it's just more so keeping it up and squishing it like this to see if, you know, if there are waves. Other than that, when we also talk about wet hair, I was swimming again this month, and I think it's the same number as last month. I went swimming 10 times in total, but 5 times this month again. And I'm at the point where I'm thinking about like, it's not important anymore to keep track. Like, I don't need to count anymore. But this was really helpful like last year, because I remember in 2021, I went 7 times or 6 times. I was already like making an effort to go many times. And so I thought like 6, 7 times, like that's not much. Like I should be able to do more, because it makes me so happy to go swimming, and it's a great exercise. It's free. It's such an amazing summer activity. And so last year, I think I went 18 times, which was wonderful. And so this year I thought like I need to like count again and make sure I'm going more than 5 times, and now it's been 10 times, and I do hope it's gonna be much more. And I don't know, 18 is totally fine. So I don't know, maybe it's gonna be 20, maybe it's gonna be 15. But I'm so happy I went swimming. And actually yesterday I went swimming and it was raining. And that's something that kind of it wasn't on my bucket list. I never wrote it down anywhere. But that's something I kept like in the back of my mind, that I really, really wanted to swim while it's raining. And let me tell you, it was wonderful. Kind of the stillness, because of just like the rain sounds. And there were like no waves on the lake, and it was just like the drops hitting the water surface. It was amazing. So I want to go swimming while it's raining again in the future, especially like during summer when it's so warm. It's not cold. Like, it's just another beautiful weather condition. And then let's talk about reading. I'm actually knitting my sweater right now, as I told you in the last In and Out video. I did not make that much progress. And I also did not read that much. I'm currently reading this book. It hasn't appeared like in the In and Out videos just because it's not mine. I just borrowed it from my boyfriend's sister. And it's great so far. I'm just like 1/3 into the book. I really like it. It's in English, and I think it's written very, very well. But for me as a non-native speaker, there are some kind of like complicated words in here. But I mean, that's great. That's a challenge. I can get to know some new words. That's great as well. Yeah, so I can recommend it to you, but I haven't finished reading it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to take that on vacation, because maybe I need more than 200 pages to read. And it's heavy. So I don't know. Maybe I'm taking the ebook reader, maybe a book. And so what was I doing if I did not read and did not knit? I mean, I went to the lake and I watched K-dramas. But I also was struggling through my bookkeeping problems. I don't know how long they've been now, but I think it's been about a month. And as of yesterday, I kind of got the okay from my tax advisor that everything is done, that everything looks fine, and that everything has like, all the adjustments have been made through my like software and all the bookkeeping I've been doing during the past few years. So I'm done. And that was such a nice feeling. I still have to kind of submit it to the officials, like, I don't know, finance department thing. I'm gonna do that in a few days. But I'm so happy everything has been figured out. Like, it's really not something I want to work on so much. It just is not something that's like part of my job that I love. But I do have to say, I learned a lot through all of this bookkeeping. Like, I learned a lot about the laws and how to do it and why it is the way it is, and I understand it way better now. So that's interesting, and I hope that will help me going forward. And it's nice to see that even though I did not enjoy going through all of it, it was still kind of an experience that taught me something. Yeah. It was actually no one's fault. It was just kind of miscommunication, and I did some things wrong. I also did not evade any taxes or anything, nothing like that at all. But there were just a few things I needed to change. So I think that brings me to the end of this video. I had a beautiful July and I'm really looking forward to August. It's my birthday month, and not because of that, absolutely not, but it's just, it's a summer month and we're going on vacation and it's too bright again. So yeah, I think the next video is actually going to be an extra video with Paulina, but then the next video is going to be the packing video, and that's going to be an interesting one, I think, because we're going camping. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you also to all of you who are supporting me on Patreon and listening to the podcast there. Also the ones who are listening to Paulina and my podcast. Also make sure to check that out if you haven't. That's free everywhere where you listen to podcasts. I want to link you a video here to check out, and I hope I see you there. And I also do want to say that thank you so much for everyone who has been watching until the end, who is watching these in and out videos, and also the ones who are supporting me with super thanks here on YouTube. Thank you so much. And if not there, I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.